What do you do when you don't have any ideas for an IEM faceplate? Slap a dragon on it. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be sharing my experience with the WGZ Blon in collaboration with HBB aka Hawaii Bad Boy aka Bad Guy Good Audio Reviews, the Z300. Before I begin, I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank Linsol for providing this in exchange for my honest feedback. And as always, they will have no influence over my feedback and all thoughts and opinions are my own. If you've been enjoying the content and would like to support the channel, do hit that like and subscribe button, or you can also check out my Patreon page. Now that's all out of the way, let's talk about the Z300. If you heard about the Blon BL03 or 05, then this brand may not be a stranger to you, otherwise you'd be wondering what the fuss is about behind this release. But before we dive deeper, let's talk about accessories. The unboxing experience and provided accessories is pretty standard with all other budget level hi-fi IEMs. You've got the cable, interchangeable silicone ear tips. For this package, you've got a sachet to keep your IEMs and the IEMs themselves. The cable is really nice, especially for this price point. It's got this triple weave design going on with a plastic coating on the wires, so it creates a cable that is less prone to tangling and it feels a little sturdier than most budget cables. The color may make or break it for you, but it fits the design of the IEMs, more on the gold color option rather than the blue. Talking about the design of the IEMs themselves, it's a dragon on an IEM. I like the powder coated light finish as the base of the IEM and the gold finish on the dragon design. If you take that dragon design out, you're just getting a simple plain looking blue IEM, so the dragon adds a little bit of identity, and from afar it looks pretty cool until you see the dragon design on the box, and it's not as menacing as I thought it looks on the IEM, so I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. For fit and comfort, since this IEM have metal shells and the grooves on the IEMs make for a comfortable fit, but I feel for my ears personally it doesn't sit as well, so I'd have to rely on the ear tips and the cable ear hooks for this IEM to stay inside my ears. Just something to note. Now that's all out of the way, let's see if this dragon can take you into another realm with its sound. For bass, if there's anything the dragon represents, it would be in the bass. There's a good amount of rumble in the sub bass. The bass is meaty and weighty, especially for this price point. It doesn't necessarily hit extremely hard, don't get me wrong, it still hits, but you can feel and hear its bass weight. I can imagine bass lovers getting this because for the price it's asking, you're getting a good amount of bass quantity and quality. It keeps the tracks engaging, keeps your toes tapping and head weaving to the beat. Nothing more I need to add here, it's very enjoyable. For mid-range, how the Z300 is tuned on the lower end carries forward into the mid-range a little bit. There's a bit more thickness to the vocal notes, but the background music sounds like they're in focus instead of the vocals. It's almost as if they're swapping places in some tracks. Vocals sounded a little further away in the background, but the background music is on the spotlight. If you're one who loves vocal focused tracks, I don't think this Dragon IEM would suit your preference. If you like to hear your background music more than your vocals, then enter the Dragon. The way the treble is tuned helps with the pronunciation of words, which helps especially with all that bass, but it impacts on the clarity of instrument attacks, which seems to be the trend for sets at this price range. There's enough highs in the treble, but not enough air in the treble region, so there's a little bit of sharpness to the notes which may affect treble sensitive people, and the air instruments, they sounded a little muffled or far away. For imaging and resolution, unfortunately this is where the Z300 takes the most hit, with how the overall sound is presented. You get to hear some details, especially the macro details, however they're not as distinct, but micro details can get lost within all that bass. Imaging is about average and there's not enough separation within the sound, so on busier tracks, it sounded a little blended together. For source, on my HiFiMan EF400 I'm getting at about 9 o'clock on the dial, which would suggest this IEM is relatively easy to power. So to sum it all up, you gotta know your expectations before you enter the Dragon's lair, otherwise I feel you might come out of that lair feeling somewhat underwhelmed. If you're hoping to have a beast of bass at a budget level, the Z300 may be enough to satisfy your needs. This Dragon can shatter grounds, but it cannot take you up into the clouds. I think that sentence sums up the character of the Z300. However, this is based on one man's experience and I'm curious to know yours. Is the Z300 the IEM for you, or at this price point, what would be your favorite IEM to get? Comment below, let me know, and as always, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you to Linsol once again for this opportunity, and until the next experience, take care.